Hello everyone, it's Nova. I want to show you guys my top 10 oracle decks of all time. I think this is the most challenging video that I have ever made. It was really hard. I'm still here. I have more than 10 to show you, but 5 of them are only recommendations. These are not necessarily my top 10, but I definitely recommend them. And I'm gonna start with them. First of all, I have to mention that this was started by Simon over at Hermit's Cave. This is not a tag. He just made this video a few days ago. I really enjoyed watching his video. Honey Lou made a VR to Simon's video and I watched Honey Lou's video. That one is also awesome. And I will link those two videos in the description box for you guys. And let me just jump right into it. Starting with Dream Decoder. 60 cards to unlock your unconscious. So this is a recommendation. As I said, I'm starting with 5 decks as the decks that I recommend. This is my first recommendation for anyone. If you're a rookie or if you have been reading cards for years, this is good for everybody. Ever dreamed that you were flying or being chased? Do you wake up and wonder what did that mean? Dream Decoder presents 60 of the most common dreams, explaining what your unconscious mind is telling you. And this was created by Magma for Lawrence King, text by Theresa Chong, and illustrations by Harriet Lee Marion, design by Melene Mozas. It comes in this gorgeous sturdy box. It has a little pamphlet where it just explains simply how to use this deck. And as a psychotherapist, I really recommend this deck because it really works. And you don't have to use it for dream interpretations. You can work with this deck in various ways. So you get the images, very intuitive images on the front. Very simple, which works very well. In the backs, you get the title of the card and the explanation of the dream, like when you dream about people, for example, what it means. I'm not going to take your time today to read every card. Let me know, please, in the comments if you want me to do a proper review of any of these decks. But I promise you this really works. And as I said, you can use it for other types of readings as well. It's very good for intuitive readings. Look at this one. Her teeth are falling out. Teeth falling out. May suggest fear of aging or feeling unattractive or unappealing in some way. It can also symbolize fear of losing something or someone important to your emotional or mental survival. After all, without teeth, you can't eat and nourish yourself. The Tooth Fairy Association links this dream with money too. So there may be a reference to financial concerns, and there is a lot more. The cardstock is really good. It's thick and matte. Love these simple illustrations. Usually I do not like simple illustrations, but it works very well for this deck. So this is my first recommendation. The second one is Carolyn Myss Archetype Cards, an 80 card deck with instruction booklet. Again, as a psychiatrist, I recommend this deck. This is about archetypes. It's written so well. Here, this is Carolyn Myss. This instruction booklet accompanying the archetype cards explains how to use the cards to help determine which archetypes are most active in your psyche and how they can lead you to achieve greater insights into your life. Carolyn Myss is very famous. She is a pioneer in the field of energy medicine and human consciousness since 1982. She has worked as a medical intuitive, one who sees illnesses in a patient's body by intuitive means. Her website is www.miss.com. This deck was created by Hair House. The guidebook is amazing. You have 80 cards. It is glossy. These are the backs. I've etched it myself in red. So you get the archetype, like damsel, and then you have light attributes and shadow attributes. For damsel, for example, you have here understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. These are two separate sentences. Understanding the nature of healthy romance, and then damsel inspires you to rely on yourself. And then the shadow attributes are waiting for a knight to provide for you. That's one. The other one is seduction by romantic illusion. The art style is cool. It pairs very well with many different types of tarot decks and other oracle decks. You can use this as a learning tool. It just works really well with all different types of readings. From divinatory readings to shadow work. Anything. The cardstock is good. It is glossy, as I said, and thick and nice. This deck has been out there for many years. I have it for many years. I've used it maybe 50 times. And I really recommend this deck for anyone again. It doesn't matter how advanced or amateur you are. It's good for everybody. Everybody can take a lot from these cards. Really a masterpiece. Another recommendation is the Wisdom Keepers Oracle deck and Inner Guidebook. This is another archetype deck. This is by Rosie Aronson, PhD. This one has 64 faces of awakening. So 65 cards it has, because it also has one mirror card, which is this one. This deck, because of the guidebook. I mean, the cards are also amazing, but the guidebook comes with stories. Each one of these faces has a story. And it's priceless. It's really good. The guidebook is really, really good. These are the backs. These cards are huge. I have etched them. And Simon also showed this deck in his video, so I'm not gonna spend a long time on this one. Again, an older deck in my collection. I don't even know. I really don't know for how many years I've had this one. I have not used it for some time, but I have it for some time. But I used to work with it often. Until 4 years ago, I think. 4 or 5 years ago. It's a lovely deck. Again, glossy, high quality, thick cardstock. Thick but very soft. So you can shuffle it. I mean, you can shuffle it this way. You can also use them as altar cards. Okay, next one is the Energy Oracle cards. This one was recommended by Honeyloo. I also definitely recommend this to anybody. I have trimmed mine. I recommend this deck because of its guidebook. The guidebook is really good. It gives you some keywords, upright meaning and reverse meaning, and an affirmation. This deck just works. It just works. In my opinion, the depictions are ugly. I have trimmed them big time, so it is a lot more joyful now for me to work with. It had these huge, it has like these golden borders and huge green bar here underneath with the card title, and it looks really ugly. But I trimmed everything. I kept the numbers because this is mostly about the guidebook. I would read the guidebook anyways. When I was using this deck, I would never just go with the title. I would always use the guidebook because the guidebook is so good. So therefore I thought to myself, let me just trim everything. It will become nicer. That I really like this square shape and smaller, and just it feels cozier and it looks a lot better. Looks much better now. It's still cheesy, but in a nice way, like those Radley Valentine decks imagery. Cheesy but nice, because in my opinion it was cheesy and not nice. But anyways, this is a great deck. It's written so well and it works. It doesn't matter in what type of reading you use this deck, it works like a charm. It's magical. So this was my fourth recommendation. The last one is the Soul Cards. And Simon was saying in his video that the creator of this deck, Deborah Koff, has said that Soul Cards are not oracle cards. They are soul cards. Okay, I'm still showing this deck in my video because I'm recommending it, because till now I recommended from a psychotherapist's point of view. I also wanted to add this one because this is brilliant. This deck is brilliant for intuitive readings. I have used this deck. This is Soul Cards 2. With Soul Cards 1, I have used it in psychotherapy sessions. I give the deck to the patient or the querent and I ask them to go through the cards and choose 1 or 2 or 3. And then we talk about the card. I ask them why they chose it. And it takes you deep if you sit and ask yourself the question why you chose this card. You really, because I'm sitting there and asking them, I want an answer. They have to come up with the right answer. Like they really have to dig deep. And it reveals stuff from your subconscious that you will be really amazed. This deck is brilliant. I love the cardstock. Again, it is glossy. I really like glossy cardstock as much as I do like matte cardstock. So I recommend Soul Cards as well for any type of intuitive reading. Okay, we're done with the recommendations. Now we will start with my top 10. As I said, this was really difficult for me. I just went with the thought of, okay, if I have to choose 10 decks out of my collection, which decks would they be? Therefore, all these 10 decks that I'm showing you are not the decks that I'm using often, but they are the most important ones to me. And the Oracle Belline is one of them. I'm going to tell you something ridiculous now about myself. I don't even know how to read with this deck. It's still one of my top 10 because it is precious. Because I love it. I love the look of this deck. It's an order. I love the story behind it. How it was created, and this is a really ancient oracle deck. Like, I think this is one of the oracle decks in the history of card reading. Not the very oldest, but one of the oldest. And it has a proper system. And look how cool it looks. It's a bit out of order. I love pairing it also with other decks. Like the way I use it now, I used it a few times. I just go off the keywords, the meanings of the keywords. That's it. I have not learned the system yet. But this is one of my top 10. For sure. It's just really cool. And I've heard from people who work with it that it works also like a charm. Like if you know the system, this is magical. Okay, so this was number 1 or number 10. It doesn't matter. I cannot rank these from 1 to 10. It was hard enough to choose 10 out of my huge collection. Number 2, the Illuminated Earth Oracle by Claire Mack, 2018. I bought this deck the moment it was published. Like, I saw one video on YouTube and I was sold. I had edged it myself back then in 2018, so 6 years ago. It has held up okay. These are the backs. Let me zoom in. The earthy vibes of this deck. The keywords are brilliant: connection, upheaval, retreat. And this deck pairs with everything, not just energetically, but also the looks of it. It's just created in a way that it pairs with absolutely everything. Like, you just go and pair it with anything you have and see what you get. Protection, productivity, harmony, responsibility, reflection, and oh my god, I have received this card so many times. Like, this card comes out for me in many readings. This deck has a soul. It is an indie deck, by the way. It's very high quality. It's matte, lovely cardstock, but soft and buttery. I love it. Blocked, support, healing, resistance, multiverse, destruction, abundance, decay, potential. I'm sure you have seen it. If you're into tarot and oracle, you have seen this deck before. Of course, all these 10 decks that are my top 10 are also in my recommendation list. Of course, I recommend this deck. If I want to pick up an oracle deck, if I'm in a hurry and I cannot think which deck shall I now pick up to pair with the tarot deck that I'm using at the moment, whichever tarot deck it may be, it will be this one. There is a guidebook, but it's really minimal. Like, you get this much, one small paragraph per card, but it's enough because the images are so self-explanatory in the most beautiful, intuitive way. So this was my second. The third one, Reclaim Oracle. Again, as a psychotherapist, I recommend this one. This is another indie deck. It has many cards, I think 90 or 88. It says a unique oracle to heal your emotions and recover your missing parts. This gentle self-care tool creates a safe space around your feelings and helps you restore the connection with your inner child. It's a perfect companion for those who are ready to face their shadows but don't know where to start. And it is absolutely true. It does what it claims to do, and it has 90 cards and a beautiful guidebook. Although I believe you really do not need the guidebook with this one. Like, you can use it as a bonus for sure, and you get very little per card, but very useful. But you can use it without the guidebook. So these are the gorgeous backs. It comes edged. The cardstock quality is amazing. Again, another intuitive deck. So emotional and meaningful. It helps that it's so monochromatic. By the way, these are pink. The camera doesn't show it well. In the camera, it's like off-white, but it is pink. So now I just noticed that my lighting is not that great. Let me see what happens if I switch off the light. It's still not showing the pink. So these are soft pink. Anyways, this is really cool. Again, this works. It's awesome for shadow work. It is good for shadow work, but it's not that harsh. It is just very confronting. Big time. I think I can say this is the most confronting deck that I have ever seen. in this genre of decks, in this psychology oracle decks. This is a masterpiece though. And 90 cards. I have used this deck often, and I am going to use it in the future for sure. I do pick it up out of the hundreds of oracle decks that I have. I could say this is really in top 10. It is really in the top 10 that I use all these years. All these years this has been a favorite. I have this one for 3 years, I think. 2 or 3 years. 3. This was expensive, but it was worth it. I bought it here in the Netherlands for like 80, at least 80 euros from tarot.nl. But it is worth it. The box and everything, the quality is amazing. Let me show you a few mass market decks. Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle by Kelly T. Smith. Again, another psychotherapist favorite. Look within and receive messages from your guides and angels as you travel your path to greatness. So this is a larger deck from Beyond Words Publishing, and this one again has many cards. How many? 77 cards. A great guidebook. You get intuitive life coaching questions, which are brilliant. Like, let's just read this one. This card is Power Struggle. You may be involved in a power struggle between 2 or more people. Intuitive life coaching questions. What situation in your life currently feels like a power struggle? Is it at work, at home, in social settings, all of the above? This question will make you sit and think, because many of us are involved in a power struggle without even noticing. And another question is this: in what ways are you contributing to this imbalance? How can you stop adding to this energy? This is brilliant. This is like really like having a life coach at home. And whichever card you pull, this is the author. Bravo. Really brilliant job. What was I saying? No matter what card you will pull, it will give you something. So these are the cards. Look, they're this large, almost as big as my hands. And they are these tapestry images. Collage in tapestry. And these are the cards. So you get a title and then a key phrase. Inner child. You are currently healing old emotional wounds. Parting ways. It may be time to move on from this person or situation. Increase. You have successfully manifested something near and dear to your heart. Obsession. It is time to get out of your head and back into your heart. And look how gorgeous they are. And they pair with many of my tarot decks. I love to pair this with my Zerner Farber tarot. I have a large one that goes very well with this deck because this is also quite large. Let me show you. So this is the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber. So this is the large edition because there are 3 different editions of this deck. I have modified mine because this particular deck comes in these large colorful borders, color-coded. The majors are in purple, the ones are in like mustard yellow. Anyways, I have removed those borders. I have left the sharp corners and I have edged it These are the backs, and I really like it like this. Let me show you. So here we go. Just the looks. The meanings of this deck go with any tarot deck. The looks very much with this one and with many other decks. It just works. It just works like a charm. Look at this. You see? So I use it with this deck, and this is not a shallow reading. It takes time. Like each layer takes some time to really grasp what these cards are saying, especially because I don't have the borders anymore. I've written the numbers and the suit here. Like this one is Ace of Air, one of air, as you see, so Ace of Swords. And this one is Eight of Water. Here, Eight of Water. I recommend this deck because it really works. As I said, it's like having a life coach at home. It teaches you a lot. It helps you to go through a lot. I use this deck for my clients. I can never part with this one. This is a brilliant deck. So this was my number 4. Let me be quicker. This is taking way much longer than I anticipated. Okay, this one is the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethony. This is another indie deck. Really soft, beautiful box, and these ones have dropped in price dramatically since I bought this one. Like I bought this 3 or 4 years ago when it came out, and I shipped it from the US. This deck cost me like 60-70 euros, and now it's on Amazon US for like 20 something dollars. It is a huge oracle deck, beautiful backs, gorgeous gilding, and this is my Peoply oracle deck. Even the guidebook is velvety, really high quality, everything. This oracle deck also has quite a lot of cards. How many? 50 cards. Okay, if you know Ethony's writings, you know her writing style is really good. Like for each card you get, the title of the card is magic, symbol, keywords, awakened soul story, awakened meaning, shadow meaning, affirmation, personal reflections. It's written beautifully. Look at these cards. Surrender, trust, beautiful matte cardstock, treasure, wisdom, shadow, devotion, challenge, change, rescue, rebirth, perspective, authenticity, solitude, gratitude, connection, compassion, desire, boundaries, mirror, labyrinth, truth, with the truth chakra here. It's done so cleverly. Family, magic, guidance. It's a tarot reader. And this one is manifesting in her hand with the infinity symbol. Reminds you of the magician. She has also these 4 elements tattooed on her arm. It has a lot of symbols. It is modern and peoply, but is one of the few peoply decks that does not bother me at all. I love it. I love working with it. This is my modern deck, my modern oracle deck. I don't think I have any like modern day stuff oracle deck. No, I do have, sorry, I do have actually quite a few, but this is the one, because just because the keywords are so good, the images are so clever, the guidebook is amazing, the cardstock is awesome. I love it. I actually use it often. Okay, so this was my number 5. Number 6, this one for the guidebook, Beyond Lemuria Oracle Cards by Izzy Ivy. This was published by Blue Angel a few years ago. I do love the cards. And look at the backs. I've etched them. This is one of the best guidebooks I've ever read. Beyond Lemuria guidebook. It's so good, guys. Per card, you get 2 full pages, as you see. It's just written really well. Believe me. I cannot read every guidebook that I show you guys, but believe me. Whoever has this guidebook and has read it, please write in the comments. What is your opinion? The cards are also really cool. They remind me of Avatar, the movie. They're cool. Celestial, and I love this color palette. I love blues and purples and greens. It's that delicious Blue Angel cardstock. Thick and luscious. The keywords: the Portal Keeper, Realm Bridger. It's so good. What it says in the guidebook about this card: shine your light. She of the Lotus, Star Seed Elemental. Reclaim your energy. Soul Star Chakra, merging with the divine. So you have the chakras. Star Seer, gracious receptivity. So as you see, you need to read the guidebook, and you should read the guidebook. I mean, if you read the guidebook, you don't want to put it down. That's how good the guidebook is. And the cards are gorgeous, and it pairs with many different styles of tarot and oracle decks. Not with the mundane everyday decks usually, but with all other types of tarot and oracle decks. It goes even really well with most animal decks, in my opinion. Okay. We have 4 more to go. Oracle of Ascendance by Philip J. Adamczyk and Sherry Jo Posselt. This one was published by US Games recently. Not recently, sorry. No, not recently. This has been out there for a few years. I bought it last year. And boy, I am so happy that I did. This is perfect. I've etched it myself. These are the gorgeous backs. So you have all these symbols. It has like 74 cards or something. It has a lot of cards. 72 oracle cards. 108-page guidebook. Let me show you. So you have different suits here. The ancient symbols, the chakra symbols, the elemental symbols, the planetary symbols, Reiki and elemental trinity healing symbols, star symbols, and zodiac symbols. And you really learn some stuff here about these symbols. This is such a versatile deck of cards. Because of its artwork, it pairs with absolutely everything. And it is color coded, so with the borders you know which suit they belong to, so you can easily open that part of the guidebook and find a card and read the explanation, because it is brilliant. This one is Uranus, this one is Kundalini, this one is Gemini, Taurus, throat chakra, Venus, Raku, ether. So you even have the Sephiroths here, and 72 of them. As I said, they pair so well. The cardstock is matte and very sturdy. They're on a thinner side, but not flimsy at all, quite sturdy and high quality. It shuffles like a dream. It's a workhorse for sure. You can use it for anything, for any type of reading, and it adds a beautiful layer to your reading, even if you pull just one card out of this deck. I want it because I like symbols. I want to learn more about symbols. I want to work with symbols. So this one is one of my top 10 oracle decks, and I was actually really surprised myself because I have so many beautiful oracle decks in my collection. This simple one won for a good reason as well. Next is the astrology deck. I had to include an astrology deck. This is my absolute favorite astrology deck, the Stars Divine 60 card deck with guidebook included, created in Oakland, CA by Alejandra Leon of the Lioness Oracle. So this is another beautiful indie deck that I paid an arm and a leg for, but I am happy still. This is the guidebook, very short and sweet. It's very practical. This guidebook makes astrology very practical. Look at this box. Everything screams quality. Look at this gilding. The backs. It is so soft, and there is a sheen, very slight sheen to these cards. Beautiful collage. Scorpio. 8th house. They make so much sense. Uranus. 2nd house. Saturn. Venus. Aquarius. 4th house. Again, full of lions and flowers, as you see. So, of course, it pairs really well with her other decks, like they belong together somehow. But you can pair this with many other decks as well, with different styles of arts. Because of its white borders, I don't know, somehow these white borders help pairing this deck with many other decks. Like, if it did not have these borders, it would have been a lot more difficult. I need borders on some of my decks, and I have to remove borders on some other decks. I'm sensitive to borders. Lions and flowers. I showed you all the cards. Okay, so this is the astrology deck that I would choose out of my astrology decks. I have like 14, I think they are all together in my shelf. I counted, it seems like I have 14. And I use this one the most. I like this one the most, although I really love the other ones too. The one that Honeylu showed, the pastel one. I really like that one too. Let me quickly show you. Heavenly Bodies. Honeylu shows it in her video. Go check her video out. It will be in the description box. Honeyloo Wilson. Next is Tantric Dakini Oracle. Look how big this is. So this is the box, huge box. This is a mass market deck created by Destiny Books by Nick Douglas and Penny Slinger. These two were the authors of Sexual Secrets. Look at this book. So 207 pages of information. Brilliant. This deck is brilliant. Unhandy box, but what to do? I can put these cards in a pouch and then put the book somewhere else, and I have done that with many of my decks. But some of my decks, I just want to have the guidebook and the cards together in the same box, because every time that I use this deck, I use the guidebook. Like, I do not use this deck without the guidebook. So what's the point? You know what I mean? This is Soma, Earthbound, Hot Seat for the Emperor. You have the major arcana in this deck. Heart Drop, Ganesh, Lord of Obstacles, Just Passing Through, Survival, Asylum, Wish Fulfilling Gem, Shiva, the Pillar of Fire, Self-Preservation, Phoenix, Pearls Before Swine, Taking Up Arms, The Rose Garden, Maya, How She Spins, Castles in the Clouds. I mean, look for yourself how unique this deck is. And the guidebook, this is a deep level stuff. Threefold Riddle, Mean and Heavy, Burning Bush, Lineage Tree, Puja, Purification. This is the Temperance. Yeah, I cannot be without this deck. I think this one will be even in my top 3 if I ever had to torture myself and choose only 3 oracle decks. This will be one of them. The cardstock is good too. I've seen many people have removed the white borders and it looks good too. If I want to do that, I will buy another one because this deck is just too precious to me. Scarlet Woman, Abundance, Chameleon, Isis, the High Priestess. It's actually Isis. Okay, so this was number 9, the last one. The last one again is one that I do not want to be without. Like, if I have to choose 10 decks out of my collection and be with these 10 decks only, this has to be one of them. The Weaver's Oracle, Journey Cards and Travel Guide, created from Paintings and Mythic Tales by Carolyn Hiller. Again, a huge box. This is about both the guidebook, the stories that are fascinating and meaningful and spiritual, and the paintings, of course, the cards. So I have edged them in black. They do not come edged. This is another indie deck. So these are witches and shamans, all female from all over the world. And Carolyn has painted them. All these paintings are life-size. All of them are holding totems and tools in their hands and also under their garments. And it took her 30 years to complete this deck. This is a masterpiece. Look at these faces. Look at these figures. Look at their expressions, their clothing, their energy, their gaze. It's incredible. I use them as altar cards. I have used them even in tarot readings, type of reading that I want to spend 2 hours on. So I pull one card with a few other cards from other decks, and then I read the guidebook for myself. And it's definitely worth it. It's worth the time and effort. It's a proper spiritual practice, I find. I love this deck. So this was it. This was number 10. I hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you, Simon, for creating this video. It wasn't a tag, as I said, but I am doing a VR to Simon's video. I encourage you to go and watch his video. It was amazing. All his videos are awesome. And if you like my videos, guys, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I hope to see you in the next one.